Welcome to Unmuted by GosuGamers. My name is Freddy and I'm here with Jared of Belandrial. In case you can't tell, I'm actually in the hotel room, specifically in Singapore. I'm here to cover M3 Mobile Legends M3 World Championship. At the same time, I have the privilege of working with Bunton in producing certain content, which I can't tell you what, but that's if you will know in the future. But yeah, what we are going to about today is really about meta predictions. Like group stage is upon us in the next few days. I would say less than 3 days. It will be live next Monday. So there are a lot of things. I've been talking to coaches, I've been talking to players, I've been talking to talents on like what are the things that we can or predict. So Jared, let's talk about the current meta, right? Because I think current meta is not too big of a change from MPLI in my opinion, but there were some nerfs and buffs to the heroes as well. So personally, do you think like there will be a very big change in the sense like last time I remember like last year it used to be a more like fighter based meta, and then right now it kind of like shift to like a goal lane heavy, like a marksman in goal lane and also assassin in jungle lane meta, or do you think it will retain this current form?
So from just looking at the latest patch, so we know that the latest hero edition, Valentina, will not actually be able to be played. So that's one big thing. But on the other hand, there have been a lot of nerfs and buffs, but those nerfs and buffs don't seem to be big enough to change the meta right now. It's not it's not a game-changing nerf or buff. There might be a few heroes here and there that might not get picked up, but for the most part, I think that those assassins are still gonna play a very big part. Things like Hayabusa, especially.
Yeah. I mean, yes,
Definitely,
he got his base HP reduced, but I would say it's negligible.
It's very negligible. Yeah. We're gonna
There's
see.
but there's
I think,
also the physical attack growth reduction, which can be a big thing.
Again, I think maybe that just means that more teams start playing to the late game, and we see a lot more of the 20+ minute games, which is pretty big, considering that. I mean, we did see it in MPL Invitational, where teams were definitely often picking to that late game.
Because I can be sure that like for the latest seasons of MPLs across the world, right? The average game time is around, I would say, 15 to 17 minutes. So for it to go longer than that, that means that the meta is slowing down. It's definitely slowing down. Also, just a reminder that today we are talking about group stage prediction. So for those who are not you can't remember the format, they are playing best of one. So what we are talking about today is specifically about best of one, right? Because I think the draft strategy as well as like how you prepare to win the game like it kind of changes the game, because when you have no room for mistakes, you can't like change your draft because that's it. That's one time, one game against your opponents. Yeah, you wanted to say something?
If teams they could make one mistake in a draft. It could be any team. It could be the best of the best. It could be Onyx PH, Blacklist, Onyx Esports, EVOS, anyone. They could make one small error, and that's going to cost them a game. At the end of the day, no one's getting eliminated in the group stages, which is quite nice. But the difference between getting into upper brackets or lower brackets is still huge.
I would say that based on my understanding, or also just quick discussion with some of the talents and coaches, I expect a lot of teams to prioritize either the jungler in terms of ban space, ban phase. So if they know, that the opponent's jungler doesn't have a big enough hero pools, or they have like a specific niche. For example, if I'm gonna fight against Blacklist, I will look into like potentially banning the Aldous, or maybe even taking out the YSS early, which even with a little bit of a nerf, I think Yi Shin is still a very big pick.
Definitely.
Yeah, either you target the jungler, or you want to target the tank. Specifically, I would say a certain tank heroes, in my opinion, maybe like the healers, your Matilda, your Rafaela.
I'm thinking we're going back to the Jawhead bans here, possibly. Jawhead, any initiators, things like that, are probably going to get taken out. And I think it was in season 7 of MPL, PH, obviously. But yeah, that was earlier this year that Jawhead was just banned out all the time. And I think that's going to happen again, possibly.
I also expect to see some Selena in especially best of one, because if you remember in M2, like there were teams that uses Selena as a tank. You can do that as a roamer, but she is a really good roamer. So if you build to be a bit more sustainable, you can pair her up with another support or another mage, and then you have just go on full ham in the early game. That would be a counter pick to like healer base, or like the baby meta.
Yes. Yeah.
I would also think that personally for me, I would think that the Paquito flexibility pick kind of got nerfed a little bit, because like there were a lot of teams that once you pick Paquito in phase 1, you can choose to put it in EXP lane or even jungler. But right now, I don't know. I feel like her early to mid game with that nerf is quite big. It's quite a big big reduction to base damage, and enhanced damage is also I personally feel like it may not you may not want to use him so much in a jungler position.
Yes. You kind of don't want him as a jungler. You want him to be your kind of like top lane, your fighter, your initiator, not having to rely on the jungle farm, essentially. Like you said, jungle is going to be a huge thing. A lot of the teams, actually most of the teams that are coming into this, even if we don't know a lot about them, their junglers are actually the person on that team that is actually known and has performed really well before, or has made an impact before. So I think jungle is definitely going to be something that's going to be a huge impact in the meta going into M3.
Yeah, I think that also depends, because you're right that of course jungler has a really important role to close up the game, but as we see towards the end of the MPLs, as well as during the MPLI, the meta shifted in the sense that the gold laner can't be your insurance policy, or like your second, if not the highest damage dealer, depending on your comps. So I still feel like of course the marksman or your Clint is doing really well now in the current meta. I Clint, your Nathan, your
Nathan. I think Nathan's going to be huge coming into this.
Nathan is definitely very flexible as well. You can use Nathan in the jungler position as well, in the pinch.
Mid lane,
mid lane. What do you think about what do you think about the baby meta, like the healing comps? Do you think that it's still going to be huge? With the Rafaela still being big, Matilda, Florine, and you have the pocket like Ling Angela.
Yeah, I think look, because it's a best of one in the group stage, I think maybe teams might not focus on that as much, because maybe some teams will try to, because they want to push things to late game and they want to build up. But a lot of teams might just avoid that completely and just go for, assassins, and we'll take out your backline and we're going to win this, just because now you don't have these champions or these heroes to back you up. Things like Hayabusa, Ling. Yeah, I think those are going to be even Fovius, because he's just going to jump onto your backline and then bounce around every time anyone tries to get away.
Yeah, like the XP Link
We
Phobius, yeah.
want to see, we want to see those dunks coming in. Lancelot as well, yeah. I think that for the group stage at least, teams are gonna shy away from the healer, the baby meter.
Yeah, I feel like this group stage BO1 is gonna hopefully give us some surprises. I just hope that there's no like the same old 40, 50 heroes that you just recycle around. I hope that we don't see that. Although I personally don't think that will be the case. Looking at like how things are and how you want to like have your pocket stretch, and in a way, it's also very interesting that Moonton does this, right? It forces you to show your hands as early as possible.
Yes, of course. Yes, as soon as possible. Yes, exactly. And that's the best thing about no teams being eliminated, is that every team might show their hand early on, and now they're going to either be in lower bracket or upper brackets, and anything can happen.
There will. I like the sense that in at least for the last 2-3 months, you can still, I mean, in BO1 especially, like any sort of tactics or strategies can work against you, if not for you, because like you can still throw in the occasional DK, you can still throw in the occasional like global strategy with Ling and Aldous. You can still throw in double mage, you can throw in anything you want, you can throw in like triple tanks or like sustainable comms. It can work. This is just for one game. If you get your stuff right for that one game, you're on. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna talk. That's all we're gonna talk about right now, based on I would say a lot of our research. Tell us what you think about your own predictions. If you think whatever we say is true, go ahead, like and subscribe. Follow us. There'll be a lot more MLBB M3 news as well as content coming your way. Follow GosuGamers, follow YouTube. But if you disagree with us, if you don't agree with us, do the same. Yeah, but continue to critique us. Let us get good at what we are doing. Comment, leave anything. If you have any questions, let us know. If you don't have questions, let us know.